Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the garden. Now, this one I think is going to be geared a little bit more towards beginners, but hey, I've done this for years now, and I always find myself learning new things every single day. So there might be something useful for everybody. Who knows? Now, you're seeing tons of footage right now of these beautiful Lysianthus. I haven't grown these for a few years just because they're simply so much work and they need such, special care and attention, especially if you are growing them from seed, which leads me to the point of this video is how do you go about choosing the best cut flowers if you're a total beginner and you're not really sure what you're doing, and it's a learning experience. Trust me, I've been there. When I started, I didn't know anything, and I mean literally I had no clue about anything. No garden experience, no nothing. Okay, so while it may be tempting to go out and buy some Lysianthus plugs and really want to establish peony bushes and all of these things that are so just dreamy and creamy and beautiful that you've seen on the internet, I've seen it. Let's start with the basics. First and foremost, something that's easy to start from seed. Looking for plants like this Tithonia here. I always overlook these in the garden. That's why this footage is a little older also. For some reason, they're so easy, I just forget to film them. But Tithonia, it grows so well from seed. You can direct sow it as soon as, it's warmed up, all the frost is gone and the soil has warmed, and these will just grow and grow and grow. The more you cut them, the more flowers they produce. And obviously, an abundance of pollinators will be found. I always love watching the bees and everything with just pollen all over their butts as they go through here. Super easy to start from seed. Very important. Knowing when to plant and how to just, sow it. Just so easy. Another attribute that I think it's important to look for is plants that are carefree. In this example, Cosmos, another one that's easy to direct sow into paired beds, are totally, for the most part, carefree. As long as you are cutting them in a regular basis, weekly, using those for cut flowers, they're going to return. They're going to be relatively pest-free, and they're going to be beautiful. You will not believe how gorgeous a row of Cosmos look when they're just swaying in the breeze. It's unmatched. I definitely need to grow more Cosmos. I often overlook them just because I get distracted with more, mainstream Instagram worthy flowers, but these are totally gorgeous and feed worthy. Excellent. So another really good, I think, valuable option for a lot of people. So moving on, you see the kind of theme: carefree, easy to grow, easy to sow, that kind of thing. And that brings us, of course, to zinnias, which demonstrate all of these positive characteristics that we're looking for. In addition to be easy to grow and absolutely gorgeous, these are just showstoppers. The more you cut them, the more they will come again. And of course, some of these absolutely gorgeous varieties are now available where you can get that dreamy pastel peach tone that you might have always wanted in your yard but wasn't sure how to go about it. It's just such a good option. As long as you live somewhere that's warm, you're waiting till all the frost has passed, you're likely going to have success with zinnias, making sure to keep them watered and cut, and you're going to have armloads of these gorgeous blooms. I cannot emphasize enough how great these are for beginners. Zinnias were the first flower that I ever grew. I'd never grown sunflowers or anything like that, and I hadn't even bought them. I received a free packet. And of course, we can't talk about planting our first flower garden or beginner flower garden without including a little bit of diversity. Here that I'm showing this amaranth, this was the first time that I'd ever grown amaranth. And as you can see, it's in a vegetable garden. I mean, I was a vegetable grower first, but look at these gorgeous, bright plumes. I think this variety in this video is called Golden Giant. There's another purple, burgundy type one in the background there. I'm not sure the name of it. But as you can see, these are just so incredibly beautiful. Obviously, you can use these for filler foliage or, to make a statement in bouquets and arrangements and things like that. And best of all, they're easy to grow. All I did was direct sow them into a prepared bed once it had already warmed in, late spring, early summer, and they just grew and grew and grew. Like so many other flowers that are available for beginners, they will self seed and reseed and just get really great results. The same can also be said of celosia, which can be, pinched and cut and allowed to branch to get more of these gorgeous flowers, really focusing on the high production value. Each of these in this video that I've shown you are flowers that can be sown, just direct sow in summer after the frost. Even if you get a little bit of a late start, they're just going to be absolutely just gorgeous. And of course, before the video ends, I can't help but mention and praise sunflowers. Now, sunflowers, if you're a beginner, it's usually one of the first flowers that people might begin to grow and get them interested in the garden. For me, that really wasn't the case. Actually, I was under the impression that I hated sunflowers. I'm not quite sure why, but I didn't want to grow them. I finally did, and of course, I fell in love with them, as I do with every single flower that I grow. But it's so important not to overlook some of these more basic plants. Petunias are another example of this that you may have taken for granted in the past, but there's are these beautiful tall types that can be used in cut flower arrangements now. Some of them are a little more basic, like open heirloom, and this is, I believe, the balcony mix, but some of them are more specialized. So finding flowers to help you bridge that gap between beginner, like I'm kind of unsure, don't know what I'm doing, and learning more through experience, those are the ones you really want to look for. And much like other types, it's really amazing just what a certain variety can do in terms of adding that fanciness and appeal to the garden to make, even though you may be a beginner, all of a sudden it's starting to look like you know a little bit more about what you're doing. The same can also be said for many types of perennial wildflower, which in most cases, beginner gardeners can grow from seed and work to establish to start getting those really, really beautiful flowers. I am so certain that with just a tiny bit of planning and most importantly, experience and trial and error, it will be no time, even if you know absolutely nothing about growing or gardening right now. It will be absolutely no time before you have a gorgeous garden of your own and just some really, really beautiful flower arrangements, because that's what this is. That's really the only difference between somebody who, like, wow, that wow factor. All it is just a little bit of experience in most cases. That's really about it for this video. I hope that it was somehow helpful. I'm honestly not quite sure if it was. Do tell me your favorite flower. What was the first flower you ever grew? I'd love to hear about that down in the comments. As always, I am so incredibly thankful that you took the time to watch this. It means the world to me, because without you, and I genuinely mean this, it would not be possible. So I am just so grateful. I hope you're having a great day. I hope the weather's warm and beautiful. You totally deserve it, and don't you ever forget it. Bye.